Filming and documenting your own life can be one of the best ways to practice filmmaking. I've been filming by myself a couple years now, so I wanted to show you some of the tips that will help you get better at filmmaking by yourself. Hello, as you might already notice, my name is Jamars. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about how to film your life like a movie. I've been doing solo filmmaking since forever now. I use YouTube as a way to practice my own filmmaking and my whole creative process. Today I want to show you some of my tips and how you can approach solo filmmaking as well. Here's your preparation process. You're going to use this process to know what it is you want to actually do in your video and what you want to have or not to have, So me personally, I use a lot of Instagram and YouTube shorts to get inspiration, not to necessarily copy what I see, but if I see a video or a topic that, caught my attention, I try to give it my own perspective on it or a little bit of a twist. As for me, I don't journal every day, so I don't really use journaling as a process of making my own ideas or getting ideas out of journaling, but you can also use that to create your own little stories, like if you write about your personal days or whatever, personal feelings, what you're feeling through the day, it's good to use that as a way to create a whole story on that topic. So now that I have the topic I want to talk about or make a video on, I proceed to search where it is I want to film it or what I want to do with it or how I want it to look. So this is where scripting and storyboarding comes in handy. I do script, I do storyboard. Now these scripts and storyboards are for myself, not for everybody to see, so they don't have to be pretty and they don't have to be perfect at all, so they just have to work for me. Sometimes all you need is to get out of your personal space and do something you're not used to doing. That also helps with new ideas. Now, as you might have been able to tell already, I'm alone most of my shoots. My girlfriend is not the biggest fan of the camera, so I try not to bother her too much with this filming stuff. And also, I have no friends, which I wouldn't necessarily want them seeing me filming myself either way, so it works out. Which brings me to my point of filming alone. I pick a day that works for me. I also work a full-time job. I know I've already said this before, so I have to pick a day that doesn't interfere with that at all. Me personally, I mostly film in the mornings or golden hour. This is personal preference. It is recommended to film in golden hour because you get that soft, dreamy, and cinematic look. As I was saying, you get that dreamy, soft, cinematic look you see in most movies or most cinematic videos here. Anywho, pick a time that works best for you, of course, and for your schedule. Like I said, me personally, I film in the mornings. It's just personal preference, but I'm starting to lean more into the golden hour. Now, to set up your camera for that one shot you want. Now, personally, I'm very wary with location because not only I want my video to look good, I also don't want my camera getting stolen, Also, I am a very naturally shy and introverted guy, so that's a big factor to take into consideration as well. So like I said, I'm a very introverted and shy guy, so places with less people would actually, make it easier for me to talk to the camera and just film by myself and, get that practice in to get more used to talking to the camera and just doing it out in public, So yeah, I go for places that I know are not going to be too busy or too hectic for me to film in and, just put my camera down, get the shot and keep it going. Just use your judgment for this because like I say, you don't want your gear getting stolen. Then I just go ahead and pick it up, see if there's not a lot of people around. I know if I turn around, my camera should be safe, which brings me to my next point. Now, of course, the first thing you're going to want to have in your gear is a reliable camera. I'm not saying you need a high-end camera or a latest release camera. I've seen videos filmed in camcorders literally that look and feel way better than a whole movie, so no, you don't need that. What you're gonna want to have is at least a camera that has a decent flip screen so you can see yourself when you're filming, of course, and you're gonna want a camera that has good autofocus. Now, my camera is not the best when it comes to autofocus, so I'm left with having to focus the videos myself, manual focus. But it doesn't bother me since it actually works for me. But you're gonna want to have a camera that has good autofocus because of course you're gonna be by yourself, so you're not gonna have anyone to pull focus for you or in your movement or whatever. So like I said, I don't have a high-end camera as for now, but whenever I can afford it, I'm gonna buy one. But if you can't afford a camera right now, you have at least an iPhone, I think, I presume. So if you have your phone or whatever phone you're using, it doesn't have to be an iPhone. Just use it to, get that practice in and start, getting familiar with the feeling of, making your films look good and whatever. Now, you're also gonna want to have good audio. Personally, I don't have expensive microphones either. I use two type of microphones, wireless microphones and in-camera, plugged in camera microphone. I use the Rode microphone. You can find it for like $80, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I use the newer CM28 wireless microphones, which you can see right here. This is the magnet right now, but I have it on the inside so you can hear me. And it allows me to get shots like this. This is a wide shot angle, so I'm away from the camera while talking, and you can still hear me. So that's why you want a wireless microphone. As for the Rode, I haven't been using it much lately since I'm solo filmmaking. I haven't been using it much lately, but it's really useful if you want to, do handheld content. It's also really useful to capturing ambience audio. You're also going to want to have some lenses. I use a 16mm lens, which is wide enough for me to capture this 4K shots. Because of this camera, if I do 4K, it crops a little bit, so I have to use a wide enough lens to capture, everything. Now, it is recommended to use 24 frames per second, which is what movies are filmed on. If you're using 24 frames per second, it is recommended to use double the shutter speed. So if you're using 24 frames per second, you're gonna want to have 1/50th of shutter speed. That means more light is gonna come into the lens, which brings me to my next gear, an ND filter, which is basically sunglasses for your lens, which means you can make it darker for your shots to look balanced enough so that it won't look overexposed. So as for my fourth and last tip, take your time to slow down a little bit. Take your time with your shots, with the shots you want, with how you want them to look. A tedious process, but it is going to be worth it in the end. So just take your time, slow down, plan your shots, and execute them nicely. So. Yes, sorry if this looks a little bit different. I'm filming in the Insta360. But yeah, that is basically all I have to give you guys today. I hope that really inspires you to, go out there and create a little bit more. Create your own craft, create your own art, create what you want to show to people, and just stay true to that. That's what I've been doing as for now. It took me a little while to figure out what it is what I want to do, but it has been worth it. It has been a long journey. Yeah, just go ahead and create. I hope this helped you. Again, that's all I pretty much do whenever I'm planning a video or shooting a video. So hope this helped. Again, I will see you guys in the next one. So